Champion of the world, Muhammad Ali, who is going to start off this live news conference with a statement that he has prepared, and he wants to read from his notes. Muhammad?
Thank you. I called this press conference because there's been a lot of talk going on about who Leon Spinks, the new champion, should defend his title against, myself or Ken Norton. It's a known tradition here in America and throughout the world that usually the first chance of the title goes to the ex-champion who lost it to the champion. This agrees with Mr. Leon Spinks, his managers. He also thinks that I should be the one to get the first shot at my title because I gave him a chance. The promoters, Mr. Spinks and myself, all agreed that Ken Norton should be the next man in line after I've had all my chances. Also, the majority of the world seems to agree that I should be the next man and also to have the chance to regain my title for the first time, which would make me the first man in the history of boxing to do so. The mail that I received from throughout the world is 10-1 in favor of Leon Spinks and myself getting together again. I also want to say that I'm not asking Leon Spinks or the World Boxing Council, who wants to force Spinks to fight some other contender, I'm not asking them to do no more than I've done myself. When I was champion, when I first fought Sonny Liston, I immediately gave him a rematch to prove that I was the champion and it wasn't a fluke or I wasn't on luck. Because I felt that it was perfectly necessary that I give him a chance. It was only fair that he have a chance to fight for his title because he gave me the chance. Also, Ingemar Johansson immediately gave Floyd Patterson a return after he beat Floyd Patterson. Also, Gene Tooney gave the great Jack Dempsey a chance after Jack Dempsey had beat him. Now, Mr. Ken Norton is crying, he's complaining, saying that he's badly treated. He says that he deserves the first chance at Mr. Spinks' title. He also says that he should be the next champion. How much more should I be demanding when it's me who's recognized throughout the world? I'm truly the #1 contender in the eyesight of the people of the world. When he fought George Foreman, Ken Norton, he was knocked out cold in the first round. And when Foreman knocked him out, he didn't want nothing to do with George Foreman, not even as much as to meet him on the streets. Then I got a chance to fight George Foreman, and I knocked out George Foreman. Also, I gave Ken Norton his first chance to show the world how good he was. I fought him 3 times. I beat him 2 times. He won the first one. I won the last 2. He had 2 championship shots. He failed. One at George Foreman, one at myself. Now Mr. Norton is crying. He's saying he's deprived. Then what about myself? Twice my title was taken away unjustly. Once it was taken away because I fought Sonny Liston the second time. The World Boxing Association didn't want me to do it. The people wanted it, so I answered to the people, and I fought Sonny Liston. They took my title. The second time they took my title was 2 hours after I defied the Vietnam War. So I was not allowed to make a living for some 3.5 years. But I didn't complain. Now, so why is Ken Norton complaining so? Who is more deserving of a shot at the championship, Ken Norton or Muhammad Ali?
Thank you, Muhammad. Ron First question for Muhammad Ali from Ron Swoboda of WCBS. Ronnie?
Muhammad, are you aware of the fact that it sounds very much like you came on national television to beg for a fight? Sounds an awful lot like you're worried about the fact that if Norton gets the first shot at it, you may never get another shot at the title.
No, I'm not here to beg because I am boxing. I know that. Everything that's happening today on television, as far as the big purses, the money, the world influence, it's all because of me. But there's a lot of people crying and talking about there's a lot of confusion and they're taking it seriously. The World Boxing Council are putting pressure and trying to force Ken Norton on, force Leon Spinks on Ken Norton, and I think it's proper that I retaliate to let the world know that this is unjust and that there must be some deal going on between these people and Ken Norton because Leon Spinks wants to fight me, the promoters want to promote it, I'm deserving. The world is waiting for it. So why are they keeping on insisting and pushing some number 2 contender? So we think if we don't retaliate, they can get away with it.
It's Guy Elmer of the Associated Press. Muhammad, if Spinks did sign the agreement that you signed before the fight, saying that he would give Norton the first shot, or would sign by April 7th and then to fight him within 90 days after that, don't you think he should keep the agreement?
I've never saw nothing that Spinks has signed, and I don't know if Spinks has signed it or not, so I will not make a comment. But I do know that didn't nobody expect Spinks to beat me. The press had me 10-1 favorites. You couldn't find a bet. He was supposed to go over 10 rounds. He was an amateur. I'm picking on a bomb, and so we don't know what he signed.
Yes, sir.
Don Baldwin of WINS. Mohammed, how would you go about fighting Spinks the next time? And I take it that you are going to have a next time.
I'm sure Spinks is watching the show. I'll tell you after the show.
We're going to come back with more questions, and this is going to continue live on CBS. You're watching a news conference with the former heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali.
Fireside chat.
Fireside chat, you want to call it?
Yeah.
Right? The director has just told us that you are so good we should continue going and not break right now, Muhammad. Yes, sir, back here.
Kurt Chaplin of ABC Radio. Mohammed, saying you did get a return shot at Leon Spinks, and in the event that you regained your title, would you be willing to promise Ken Norton right now on national TV a shot at you before you retire?
No, I'm not, because this has never happened in the history of boxing. Never has a fighter had to come on TV and have a press conference who is so deserving to try to convince the people he should have the next shot. Never has a fighter had to make commitments on promise on what he's going to do. I don't owe nobody nothing. I've done everything for boxing. I've made boxing throughout the world, and I don't have to keep making commitments and saying things I don't have to say.
Yes, sir.
Don Adderton from Jet Magazine. Muhammad, what would you do if the Spinks-Norton fight does go on? What would you do? I mean, would you continue to box and wait for your shot?
Oh, yes, naturally.
Yes, sir.
Charlie Bree from WITH in Baltimore. Mohammed, you and I talked before the Evangelista fight down in Washington. You told me about the deterioration of your body as a professional athlete. What makes you think in 6 or 8 months you're going to be any younger than you were out in Las Vegas 3 weeks ago?
I won't be no younger. I won't be no younger, but I will know more about who I'm fighting, and I will be in better condition than I was, and less and lighter in weight. So I know I can do better than what I did.
Frank?
Yeah, Frank Bannis, the National Black Network Sports. Fred, I'd like to direct this question to you. Every time we hear about the Spinks-Ali fight or the Spinks-Norton fight, we also hear CBS. What does CBS have to do with this fight, or what role does CBS play with the next fight?
Frank, I'll tell you, all I know is that we have an agreement with Leon Spinks for $1.5 million to broadcast his next fight unless it's against Muhammad Ali. Then we have a clause with Top Rank, first negotiation, first refusal. However, no offer has been made. One other point, Frank, a lot of people say that there are only ratings in the fall. We've also got a rating period in May that is vitally important to us, too, so I just want to clear that up. Beyond that, I don't know anything about the
I'd
contract.
like to ask you a question. Why did you say $1.5 million if he's not fighting me?
I guess they think that you're worth a lot more.
You're not as dumb as you look.
Have you set a time limit on how long you would wait for a shot at Spinks?
No, I'm not really worried about it. It's just up to the people of the world, the fans. See, we live in a country today where whoever can fill the most seats is the one that the people really recognize, and whoever can call press conferences live on television and get the people to come out, these are the ones that are successful. And I'm relying on all I've done for boxing, all I've done in fighting everybody and anybody. I'm relying on that to pull my... Leon Spinks gave me a shot when they said I shouldn't. So I'm relying on this to get me back in. I'm not pleading or begging or nothing. We just want to answer to these people who are trying to take my title, still wanted to take it when I had it, and also trying to force me out of what's rightfully mine, not even having a shot at it. We think we should defend ourselves and reveal them to the public.
Muhammad, I want to clarify one thing. That $1.5 million, now that's the agreement with Top Rank, not with Leon Spinks as an individual, just so you know.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Tim?
Tim Moriarty in Newsday. A New York paper speculated that you were going to retire. Did you consider it at all after the Spinks fight?
I've retired twice, unretired the next day. So, but I've never made no announcement that I'm going to retire. I don't know why they started that. I don't know. They say everything about me. You can't believe nothing until you hear from me.
Frank?
Frank Bannister, NBN Sports. Muhammad Ali, if you do get the, or I should rephrase that, when you get the shot at the title again, and if you win the title, then what would you do after you regain the title for the
Well,
third
I don't
time?
know, Frank, what I'll do. I don't know if I'll continue fighting, if I'll retire. I don't know. So I don't want to make a statement yet.
Maury Trimble from UPI Audio. Most of us felt that you had your chance in the 10th round against Spinks, but he was able to get away from you. Can you tell us what happened in that 10th round, and if, in fact, you did have a chance to put him away and couldn't, why do you feel that you could do it if you got
Well, I had a chance to put him away and I couldn't. Well, see, I tell you one thing. If you check Muhammad Ali's career, you find out that the only time I can really go is when I'm underdog, I can't, when I'm doing the impossible. Sudden Liston, I was to be killed, I got him. George Foreman, I was to be killed, I got him. Ken Norton broke my jaw, came back and got him. Joe Frazier beat me, knocked me down, came back and got him. The fights I looked the worst, Frida Evangelista, nobody. Jurgen Blinn, Al Blue Lewis, Rudy Lovers, these opponents were nobodies. All you said about Spinks was he's a nobody. He's fighting a man only 7 pro fights. He's fighting a man that can't go over 10 rounds. Who is Leon Spinks? And naturally I trained, but I didn't really have nothing to go after. But we proved, and he proved that he's great and a good fighter. Now I'm hungry. Now I'm ready.
Yes, sir.
Kurt Clemens, WBLS. Let's assume you do get a deal arranged and you come back and win the title again.
Can you imagine the 3rd time to be the first man in the world to regain the title? 3 times Floyd Patterson gained it twice. I gained it twice his first time, but 3 times?
All right, let's assume you do win it. Will you hang it up? Or
I just said we're not going to make no commitments yet on what I'm going to do. We might defend it, we might, we don't know. But can you imagine 3-time champion?
Mohammed, we would like to take you back for 3 minutes and take a look at that final round from Las
No, I'm
Vegas.
not going to watch
you
it.
talk. You stay right here.
I'm not going to watch it.
Now, here it is. You know you have to have a knockout. Is that right when you came out?
I believed it, but when you're as tired as I was, you don't care. This man's real fast. You see, he's 197. I'm 228. 225, I weighed in. I had dinner, I was 228. Now, a man 197, 228, that's just too much weight to be carrying fighting a man like that. Right now, you see me getting to him, but he's a little faster because he's younger and he's got less weight. But the next time, I can do much better if I was moving and my weight was down.
Were you surprised that he kept coming in the final 5 rounds?
Yeah, I was surprised. Not that he kept coming, he kept hitting me. Hit me so hard one round it dropped my kin folks in Africa. Can't take nothing from him. He was determined, he was good. He reminded me of myself when I first fought Sonny Liston, Olympic champion, a big underdog, and he did his job. He won the fight that night and can't take nothing from him. But if he whipped me twice, he is the greatest. So you have to beat a man twice. Max Mellon beat Joe Louis, had to beat him twice. Foreman beat Frazier, beat him twice. I beat Liston and beat him twice. Johansson beat Patterson, beat him twice. People don't believe him yet. He's got to get me twice. So I have an excuse. I wasn't ready. My fans have an excuse. I wasn't ready. He whipped me the second time. We can't have no more excuses. So he's got to get me one more time.
The first 3 rounds, when you covered up and took that punishment. If you fight him again, can you afford to do
I
that?
can't. I won't come up like that because I don't know. Man, I don't want to tell you what I'm going to do.
How about your silent routine? You didn't work on him mentally.
I'm glad I didn't get on mentally. I'm glad I didn't talk about him because the way he whooped me and won the fight, it'd been terrible if I talked bad about him. And then he started talking about me. So thank you, Spinks, for being nice to me after beating me. He didn't say nothing. He didn't talk bad about me. I'm so glad Howard Cosell wasn't in on this deal.
So was I.
Our interview is more interesting than the fight, ain't it? Look at him. He's game. You got to give it to him. He's going. But I know I can do better. I know I can do better. I'm not even worried about it. Everybody who know me know I can do better.
Come on, it's a countdown.
But at this point, you were very
I'm going to say I gave away the first 5 rounds hoping he would retire. I gave away 5
A
rounds.
lot of people have said to me that you threw the fight deliberately to get a rematch.
Well, you know, that's not true, but... That ain't true. I was very nice. That ain't nice to say, call me a
I know, and I'm tired of defending you, so defend yourself.
You calling me a gangster.
And so it came to an end. We've got time for some more questions. Don Frazier of CBS Radio.
Frazier?
Yeah. Don?
I'm the white sheep in his family, champ. I would just ask you about what we've heard here the last few minutes. Is this an admission that you took Leon Spinks lightly, like the rest of us did?
Unconsciously I did. I trained for the fight. I still came in too heavy. I didn't train as good as I should. What can you do? They're writing about, oh, it's going to go 11 rounds. He'll get him in 12. Oh, the fella shouldn't be in it. He's only had 7 pro fights. Oh, he shouldn't. He picked on Spinks. He's not talking. The reason Ali wouldn't talk because he was embarrassed. There was nothing to talk about. On all this, what you going to do? What you got to accomplish? But now I got beat. I'm all washed up. Time magazine, the greatest is gone. He's washed up. He's old. Now I got something to get up and prove. See, I'm ready now.
Thank you.
Sir.
I look better than I did for the fight.
Ali, you mentioned that you're hungry now. Okay, so you get your...
I'm not hungry. I just had dinner. Not that kind of hungry. Hungry for my title.
Okay,
I just want my job back.
You hungry? Okay, when you get your job
You
back...
don't look hungry either. Yeah.
I don't eat meat either, but when you win the title back, are you gonna get bored again? Or you win it, you won it the 3rd time. What else?
No. The fun now is getting it back 3 times. See, records are made to be broken. Everybody's breaking track records today. Basketball, Hank Aaron broke records. Everybody, Jesse Owens' records broken. Everybody's breaking records. But to set a record that you know won't never be broken in the next 100 or 200 years. I mean, to win the title back for the 3rd time. Can you imagine? Floyd Patterson first won it twice. I was second one twice. But the 3rd time, I'll be leaving with a record. Man, you see how big it's going to be when I come back?
Muhammad Ali, we want to thank you very much.
trying to tell me
We have run out of time. Thank you for coming by CBS. And we're going to break for commercial.
Leon Spinks, you great, boy. I mean, Roy.
We're going to come back with Jack Whitaker, who has his perspective
You are
on this
good.
Saturday afternoon on CBS.
You are good. I don't care what they say. You prove you're good.
Stay with
And still today, after you see this, you'll be shocked. And you will know that beyond the shadow of a doubt, I am still the greatest of all time.